Alright, so this is our armadillo control project. I'm Zach Shannon.
I'm Josiah Ikley.
I'm Addison Smith.
And I'm Kyle Egan.
So what is the problem? Armadillos are burrowing themselves in cornfields in Brazil. The burrows collapse when these farmers have workers and machinery, causing damage and injuries to the machines and to the people who are working. Who says it's a problem? Coach Bays and Monsanto says it's a problem because it's causing damage, like I said, and injuries to people who work in the cornfields. It's the problem we're solving. Click it again. Yes, this is a problem we're solving because people are getting hurt while they are trying to do their jobs. Machinery is getting broken. Those definitely aren't cheap for cornfields and things that they use in them. Problem statement is, how can we as environmental engineers move the armadillos in a safe way? Ralph Bays at Monsanto. Key norms, focus on productivity, high expectations, and mutual respect. Google Drive folder. This is just our Gantt chart. Kind of tracks everything. The green is when everything was completed. The kind of pinkish color was things that were in progress. And then there was light blue, which were planned things when everybody was going to do their thing, like finish their stuff or work on their designs and everything. Our decision matrix, all of us had way different designs. And then Kyle and Addison, they both had two designs that we thought were really great and better than anyone else in our group. And so then we decided to combine both of their ideas. We'll get further into our ideas later. Our constraints, they were due March 22nd, of the proposed solution, at least one, fit in budget, successfully market our solution, can't harm the ecosystem, has to be presented. Our knows and need to knows.
So here's our research answering the knows and needs to knows. We each researched a little bit about mostly 9-banded armadillos and giant armadillos, and this helped us rule out different ideas that we had in terms of efficiency and whether or not it would work.
Okay, so here I made a sketch of what it would look like. As you can see, in the original setup, it had two speakers facing down at a slight angle. That way it gets the armadillos, and then there's a video of it exploding.
Before we move on, this was Addison's idea, was a speaker playing a high frequency noise that armadillos don't like. Mine was just a wall, but we kind of ruled that out as not going to work.
Okay, here I made a map of where the speakers would be placed. As you can see, they're placed along the edge right here. And here's a blow up. They'd be placed about every 50 feet along the edge.
And then our other, which was Kyle's idea, was having a robot that could go on the ground and locate the holes in the cornfield and then place a GPS tracking device where the hole was, so then the farmers or the workers could find the hole and then fix it. And this just indicates if the robot gets stuck in an armadillo hole, it can jump out of it and then continue the job of what it's supposed to do.
And it can be remotely controlled because there's a camera on the front. So
And here it goes, and it falls in, and oops, then pops out, and then it can continue its job.
This is my decision matrix. This shows all the pieces and parts that I used to create a prototype for the speakers. And this is it. I only used one speaker because I don't have another speaker like this, and it shows that it's angling downwards at an angle so only the armadillos can be affected and not insects and stuff.
And we'll do a quick demonstration of how we can play a high-pitched sound.
They disconnect.
It does work. We tested it. It did make a high-pitched frequency.
So these are my social media posts. I was the marketer for the group. Here we have Josiah over here doing research as to how he's going to build the ultrasonic speaker. And then he's working on the bass and the rest, and then finally we have the finished product. This is part of my infographic where it explains where the problem is and what the problem is, and we are showing that it's in Brazil, and these red areas are all areas that have some of Monsanto's cornfields, and basically the problem, as Zach said, is that armadillos are digging holes which are causing injury and damage. So these are our solutions. As a previous group said, armadillos rely heavily on sound as well as smell. We're going to use the speaker to blare a ultrasonic frequency, and the reason it is at a down angle is so then it doesn't affect any aerial creatures like insects, bats, birds, and other pollinators. We also wanted to use the robot so then we could find the holes and people could not get injured. So the cost, each speaker is going to cost about $100, and the base itself can range anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on the material made out of. The placement, as Addison previously stated, was there will be one speaker for every 50 feet around the perimeter of the field. So other impacts, the speaker that we found can impact potentially several different animals like rats, raccoons, cats, dogs, skunks, insects, and deer, which are all potentially harmful to crops. But we don't think that it will be much of a problem because of our schedule that we have set up. The speaker will be played the first 15 minutes of every hour, and then it will be played constantly from dawn until dusk, because this is when armadillos are most active. The speakers only reach about 35 feet away. That's why we have it on the perimeter. So any dogs or anything in the neighborhood or anywhere nearby won't hear it unless they're within about 50 feet of the speaker. This reduces any problems with nearby people or animals. So our target audience would be farmers with any rodent problems because of the speaker's wide variety of potential targets. As I said earlier, the animals that could be affected are raccoons, bats, rodents, skunks, rabbits, cats, dogs, insects, and deer.
This is just our movie of everything. So evaluation solution. So each speaker system would probably cost around $120 depending on materials that were used, and about $80,000 worth of speakers, wiring, and bases for a 2.5 square kilometer field. That's all together with everything that needs to be set up with the speakers and with the robots. That's like everything combined. There will be speakers set at every 50 feet around the field, so then it covers the whole field, so there are no holes that the armadillos can like find in between the high frequency sounds being played at the set times. There's really no major environmental impact. It's a speaker, it's sound, it doesn't really hurt any plants, it doesn't really hurt the animals, it just kind of annoys them enough to run the opposite direction, and then they probably won't come back after they learn the lesson a couple times. Here are just our citations.